All right, friends, grab a coffee or crack open a cold one, because today we're diving into a topic that's near and dear to every sailor's heart and wallet. Sailboats that simply never break down. Now, I know what you're thinking. Never? Really? What are they made of? Unicorn bones and NASA-grade optimism? Fair point, because let's be honest, boats are basically floating bundles of things waiting to fail, wrapped in a coat of paint and hope. But still, some boats out there have earned a bit of a legendary status. The ones that shrug off bad weather, ignore the years ticking by, and just keep ticking along while their owners spend more time sailing and less time cursing at seized bolts and mystery leaks. So today, we're tipping our hats to the toughest old workhorses out there. Not the sleek carbon fiber, Wi-Fi-enabled, espresso machine-having super yachts. No. We're talking about the blue-collar, roll-up-the-sleeves, patch me with epoxy and let's keep going kind of boats. The salty, reliable legends that just won't quit. Let's count down the top 10 sailboats that simply never break down. And hey, if yours is on the list, congrats. You've got a boat even Poseidon respects. Yes, the Westsail. Westsail 32. She's earned that nickname for being slow, sure, but she also earned something way more important. A reputation for being nearly indestructible. This boat is basically a tank with sails. Thick hull, full keel, long overhangs, and a design that laughs in the face of 20-foot seas. You won't be the first into port, but you'll get there, every time. Westsail 32s are the OG heavy displacement cruisers that kicked off the whole backyard circumnavigation dream back in the 70s. And despite their age, you'll still find dozens of these chugging around the world today, often looking like they haven't aged a bit, because they were built like the apocalypse was coming. No computers, no high-tech nonsense. Just honest, overbuilt fiberglass and brute force durability. They're not roomy and they're not fast. But if you want a boat that keeps going when everything else is breaking down around you, this is your ride. Plus, parts are easy to get, and the systems are so simple you can fix most issues with a wrench, some duct tape, and the stubborn determination of a sailor who refuses to call for a tow. The Cape Dory. A 36 is like that old dog that's been with you through thick and thin. Loyal, rugged, and always ready for another adventure, even if it walks with a bit of a lean. This boat doesn't make a scene. It doesn't brag. But it'll take care of you in the worst weather like a mother hen on a mission. With its full keel, heavy layup, and classic lines, the Cape Dory 36 is a purebred cruiser. It's not fast and it's not flashy, but it is reliable as sunrise. Below decks, everything feels honest and well thought out. There's a certain humility to the layout. No wasted space, no fancy gimmicks, just what you need to get across an ocean and back. And here's the kicker. These boats just don't fall apart. You can sail it hard, beat into the wind for days, and the boat won't even blink. Systems are simple, maintenance is straightforward, and if something does go wrong, chances are you can get to it without dismantling half the interior. In a world full of complicated toys, the Cape Dory 36 is the dependable, no-nonsense friend that shows up with jumper cables and a six-pack when you need them most. The Pacific Seacraft 34 is like that quiet guy at the bar who doesn't say much, but everyone knows he's climbed Everest twice and wrestled a bear in Alaska. Understated, dependable, and tougher than old leather. This boat was built with one goal in mind: crossing oceans without drama. With a solid fiberglass hull, a moderate displacement, and a classic cutter rig, it's the kind of boat that feels safe the moment you step aboard. The motion at sea is comfortable, the deck layout is practical, and everything below deck is made to last. Not just through one voyage, but for decades. No particle board, no fragile fittings, just stainless steel, teak, and the kind of construction that shrugs off neglect and still delivers. Cruisers love the Pacific Seacraft 34 because it does what it says on the tin. It's easy to handle solo, it's built to go offshore, and it doesn't keep you up at night wondering what's going to fail next. You don't need a degree in engineering to keep this boat going. Just a good tool roll and the will to sail. It's the strong, silent type of the cruising world, and it's earned every bit of that respect. The Island Packet 35 is a floating brick house. Heavy, solid, and built with the kind of overkill that makes you feel like you could sail through a brick wall and come out the other side just needing a new coat of paint. This boat was designed for comfort, yes, but also for hard miles across big oceans. What makes the Island Packet stand out is its full keel and massive interior volume. It's like someone took a traditional cruiser, fed it protein powder, and gave it a lazy boy chair for a nav station. And yet, despite the cushy setup, these boats have proven themselves again and again in long-distance passages. From the Caribbean to the Pacific, you'll find island packets out there just quietly getting the job done. People love them because they're comfortable at anchor and underway, and because they just don't break down. Systems are robust, the hull is thick, and everything feels like it was made by someone who actually sailed. The wiring is neat, the plumbing is sane, and the engine room doesn't require a yoga class to access. If you want a boat that keeps going while you enjoy the ride, the Island Packet 35 is hard to beat. Now here's a little legend. The Alberg 30 might be small by modern standards, but what it lacks in size it makes up for in sheer tenacity. This boat is like that wiry old sailor who's out there in a beat-up rain jacket, still hand-steering in 40 knots while everyone else is calling it quits. Designed in the days when boats were drawn with slide rules and sailed by folks who didn't mind being wet, the Alberg 30 is all about simplicity and seaworthiness. Full keel, narrow beam, and built tough. No fancy systems to go wrong, just fiberglass, bronze, and grit. You'll find stories of these boats doing long ocean passages, often with minimal gear and maximum stubbornness. They sail well in heavy weather, track like they're on rails, and the systems are so basic they make a butter churn look high-tech. That's part of the charm. Less to go wrong means less to fix, and more time actually sailing. The Alberg 30 isn't a condo on the water, but it is a boat that will forgive your mistakes, teach you how to sail right, and carry you home safely when it all hits the fan. She's the definition of a classic that endures, for good reason. The Valiant 40 is like a rugged mountain goat in a world of fancy show ponies. It's not just tough, it's battle-hardened. This boat has circled the globe more times than most sailors have circled their local harbor. With its conservative fin keel and hung rudder, it strikes a rare balance between performance and seaworthiness. It can actually get out of its own way, unlike some of the full-keel plotters on this list. But what makes the Valiant 40 a legend isn't just its sailing chops, it's how doggedly reliable it is. Built for ocean passages, this boat's structure and systems were designed with simplicity, access, and durability in mind. You can beat the living tar out of it in the trades or bash into headwinds on the way to Bermuda, and it'll take it like a champ. Below deck, everything is overbuilt. Strong cabinetry, solid bulkheads, practical layout. It's the kind of boat you can maintain for life, not just own until the next problem crops up. If you're looking for a sailboat that doesn't flinch at storms or long-haul voyages, the Valiant 40 is a proven warrior. Sailors trust it because it's earned that trust the hard way, mile by salty mile. Small, but mighty. That's the North Sea 27 in a nutshell. This pocket cruiser is the sailing world's equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. It's compact, insanely tough, and shockingly capable for its size. Built with a solid fiberglass hull and designed to fit in a shipping container, this boat was made to go anywhere. And it has. You'll find North Seas in the South Pacific, the Arctic, and just about every harbor in between. The real beauty of the North Sea 27 is in the details. Everything is overbuilt. Chain plates, rigging, rudder, every piece feels like it was made to handle more than it ever should. And since it's trailerable, you don't even need to sail it to the next coast, just hitch it up and go. Try doing that with a 40-footer. Inside, it's surprisingly cozy. Sure, you'll get friendly with your crew in a hurry, but it's got all the essentials and then some. Simple systems mean less to fix and less to fail. It's a minimalist's dream. A boat that gives you freedom without the baggage. If your goal is to go far on a boat that just works and keeps working, the North Sea 27 will punch way above its weight class every time. The Contessa 32 is a stone-cold classic, and for good reason. This British beauty has crossed oceans, survived hurricanes, and earned a cult following among hardcore sailors who value one thing above all: dependability. It's a narrow, deep-keeled, full-displacement beast in a relatively petite package, and it sails like a dream. This is the boat that famously carried Tanya Abe around the world when she was just a teenager. That alone should tell you something. The Contessa 32 may be modest in size, but it's got an outsized reputation for handling rough weather and coming out the other side without a squeak. What makes it such a never-break-down machine? Simple systems, solid fiberglass hull, strong deck-to-hull joints, and hardware that was clearly designed by someone who spent time offshore. Nothing is flashy, everything is functional. It's also a boat that teaches you how to sail properly. It rewards attention and balance, and it forgives a surprising amount of weather. You'll see these boats out there today, still racking up serious miles after 40-plus years on the water. For a sailor who wants a dependable, seaworthy cruiser without the bulk or maintenance of a big boat, the Contessa 32 is a living legend. Now, here's a boat with some serious Scandinavian swagger: the Hallberg-Rassy 35. Rasmus isn't just a sailboat, it's a floating fortress of calm. Designed with comfort and reliability in mind, this was one of the first real center cockpit cruisers, and it's still turning heads and turning propellers decades later. What makes the Rasmus stand out isn't just the classic looks or cozy teak interior, it's how well built everything is. Thick fiberglass, strong rigging, practical layouts, and a reputation for shrugging off bad weather like it's just a mild breeze. This boat doesn't break down because it was never built to cut corners in the first place. The systems are refreshingly straightforward, and maintenance access is surprisingly good for a boat of its era. Plus, with a proper engine room and that center cockpit, you get a boat that's easy to live on and work on, without needing the flexibility of a yoga instructor. It's not a racer, and it's not trying to be. But if you want to cruise in comfort, sail with confidence, and know that your boat can take care of you in just about any condition, the Rasmus is a rock-solid pick. This is the kind of boat that makes you believe in quality over quantity. If blue water cruising had a patron saint, the Tayana 37 would be wearing the halo. This boat is a cult favorite among long-distance sailors, and for good reason. It's built like a brick lighthouse and sails like a dream when the breeze fills in. The hull is heavy, the design is salty, and the construction is, no surprise here, solid as can be. You'll find Tayana 37s with well over 100,000 miles under their keel, still going strong. These boats were designed with ocean crossing in mind. Thick fiberglass layup, traditional cutter rig, deep cockpit, and enough storage to outlast a zombie apocalypse. This isn't a weekend coastal cruiser, it's a home on the sea, ready for anything. Below deck, it's warm and inviting with a classic teak interior. Systems are straightforward, and there's a big owner's community out there full of knowledge, parts, and support. If something goes wrong, odds are someone's already written a guide to fixing it in 5 steps. The Tayana 37 isn't flashy or modern, but it's honest. It'll get you across oceans without drama, and it'll do it again and again. For many, this is the last boat they ever need. And if reliability is the goal, that says it all. So there you have it. 10 sailboats that have earned a reputation for just showing up, doing the job, and not falling apart while they do it. These are the boats that don't need a babysitter, a full-time mechanic, or a computer science degree to keep running. They just want a little love, some regular oil changes, and the occasional curse word shouted in their general direction. And they'll reward you with decades of solid service. Now, of course, no boat is truly bulletproof. Even the toughest hull on Earth won't save you from a neglected seacock or a spaghetti mess of wiring from 5 owners ago. But these boats? These are the ones that give you a fighting chance. They were built for real sailors, by folks who understood that reliability isn't about flash, it's about function. If your boat made the list, give it a pat on the rail and maybe a little sip of rum in its honor. If it didn't, don't worry. A lot of great boats didn't, but the truth is it's not just about the boat. It's about how you care for it, how you sail it, and the stories you make together out there on the big blue. Fair winds, my friends, and may your toughest decision always be whether to reef early or just ride it out. See you out there.